Here are 10 of the best cruisers and bobbers for 2024. I'm going to pick 10 of the best on the market today, then I'm going to pick 3 from the bunch, and they're going to be my own personal choices. So make sure you stick around to the end for what I pick. Now, I've got some that are expensive and exclusive, some that are brand new, and some a few years old. And they range from different capacities from around A2 compliance and up. So first in, we've got the Kawasaki Eliminator. Now, this has an all-new trellis frame inspired by the Ninja 400, and this new model comes with all digital instruments and a fairly lightweight 176 kilograms, for this list anyway. And it's powered by a Ninja-based parallel twin with what Kawasaki say is strong low-end performance. A2 riders can jump straight on this one, and it has a classic sleek and low cruiser style that plenty of budding cruiser riders will be after. Prices start at £5,999, but you can opt for the SE edition, and that's £6,399, and that gets some accessories thrown in. Sure, it's by no means the most powerful of the bunch here that we'll look at, but it has the style and it will certainly tick enough boxes for every single ride. And it's second cheapest on our list. The power itself is 44.7 brake horsepower from the 451cc parallel twin. Next up, the Honda CMX Rebel. Now there's 2 different Rebels here. So you've got the 500 Rebel and you've got the 1100 Rebel. And both in 2024 have been given upgrades. These new additions, one perfect for those riding with the A2 license category and up, and the other is a full-size combination of the bobber look with modern tech and styling. So I'll pick the 1100 to talk about, but I do know there is the 500 out there as well. So the 1100 Rebel is powered by the famed twin motor that is used in some other models, like the Africa Twin and NT 1100. So if you fancy the DCT Auto option as well, that is available for this motor, though that is £900 more. You can also, with this Honda CMX 1100 Rebel, have a choice of the Tour models, which gets a screen and panniers trucked on as well. It's fast becoming quite the iconic option for a cruiser, particularly as it's specced up in true Honda style with cruise control, selectable torque control, and even wheelie control. And I have actually ridden the 500 in Scotland, and it was a truly easygoing yet engaging ride. Though from memory, I wasn't a huge fan of the seat position, just because I'm quite tall and the seat is quite low down. It does also appear to be a top option for lady riders, something that we love to see here at Bike Matters. Moving on, we have the CFMoto 450 CLC. For our more budget pick, we're going for the lesser spotted CFMoto 450 CLC. Now I say that as I've only seen one, and that was at EICMA last year, and it's not easily found on the CFMoto website. It's in the classic category, but when you click there it doesn't appear, at least for me. Anyway, this is just £5,599 from new. It has a 449cc parallel twin with 43.5 brake horsepower and a 270-degree crank and double balance shaft, so it sounds pretty good. And the seat height on the list here at 690mm. The styling for me is spot on too. It's a classic blend of a cruiser with modern tech and modern styling. You've got traction control and you've got dual channel ABS as standard. And you've got an LCD display that can pair up to your phone as well. So perhaps if you're after a beginner friendly option, the CFMoto is well worth a look. And it should be quite readily available thanks to the partnership with KTM. Next up, we have the BMW R12. Now, BMW Motrad's latest release is extremely tempting. With the 1170cc boxer, a natural charmer, and the Bavarian giants keen to pump out some top spec machinery. Priced at £11,990 as a base price, we're certainly looking at a more premium option here. Though for your money, you do get some top rider tech. ABS Pro, dynamic traction control, keyless ride ignition, 2 rider modes, rock and roll. And a middling seat height of 754mm, and overall, it's quite a package. Spec it up though, and that price may well skyrocket. You've got a £200 pillion pack, not too bad, a £980 comfort pack, which is heated grips and cruise control. Should be there as standard in my eyes, at least for the cruise control. You've also got the option 719 pack. Now, of course, that's exclusive, but it's also priced at £2,100. So as you see, the price can quickly skyrocket when you start accessorizing these. Anyway, this R12 can be also A2 restricted if you're riding on an A2 license, and we've recently spotted what could be an R12 bobber on the official BMW Motorrad social media accounts, and that says it's due for a reveal on the 24th of May. Of course, we're recording that before then, but if you're watching in the future, let us know what it's like in the comments below. Another alternative from Germany is also the R18, which I have ridden and I've seriously enjoyed on the launch of the R18B out in Germany. Though it doesn't appear to have hit the chords of the cruiser buying public, as I'm not sure it's ever sold too well. But it's a nice looking bike, very classic but modern. Now, when the time comes and you need insurance for your motorcycle or scooter, make sure to get a quote directly with Lexham Insurance by clicking the link in the top right-hand corner. With over 22 years of experience and providing scooter and motorcycle insurance, there are several exclusive schemes that can be found at Lexham, and you could well find the right insurance policy for you. You can get a quote ready for when you pick up for your motorcycle or scooter, or give them a try when your insurance renewal comes up. Back on with the show. Next up, we've got the Harley-Davidson Low Rider S. So, entering what many would consider the true home of the cruiser, we find the American thoroughbreds of Harley-Davidson. And with so many options to pick from here, you could basically pick any of the Harley-Davidsons from their website. We've opted for the Low Rider S, and that starts at £19,735. Now, I'd hazard a guess that most riders will be looking at the motor on a Harley-Davidson, and the Bar and Shield brand have packed a Milwaukee 8 117 engine into the 308 kilogram beast. And it's got peak power figures of 105 brake horsepower and 168 newton meters of torque from that V-twin. Wildly powerful. Other features include cruise control, mid-mount foot controls, ABS, traction control as standard, and that signature styling and look. You also get a fairly big 18.9 litres tank, which is better than some of the old Harleys at least. And of course, what's a cruiser list without a Harley-Davidson on it? Staying in America, and next up we have the Indian motorcycle Scout Classic. So some would say the eternal rivals of Harley-Davidson. There's a lot of history between the two. You can check out here the Indian Scout Classic. Now, again, there is plenty of Scout options to consider and plenty of Indian motorcycles to consider, but the Scout Classic is just the beginning of what you can spec up, so we've gone in at that entry level there. Other options for the Classic alone include the Limited and the Limited Plus Tech, which can also be converted for A2 riders. Now, this is a fairly heavy beast at 252 kilograms, though the 1250cc V-twin packs out 105 brake horsepower and 108 newton meters of torque. And it has a very easygoing seat at 680mm, which is actually the lowest on this list. Now, the standard trim is very, very basic. It literally lists an analog dash, LED headlights, and that's it. Cruise control, rider modes, and traction control are all reserved for the Limited trim, and then the Plus Tech Limited adds keyless ignition, the Indian ride command, and a digital gauge. That's also one that can be A2 restricted. In any case though, these are stunning machines to look at. They're dripping in chromed style, and to ride, these are on another level. I mean, a friend of mine has an Indian Scout Bobber. It sounds ridiculous and it's just stupidly fast. Great looking bike, and it always turns heads. Now, next we have a pick that you might not expect, but some of you might, and I think this is a very good one. It's the Ducati Diavel V4. Now, this is outright Italian muscle. The Diavel is absolutely spectacular to look at, and the base price does place it right at the top in terms of premium machinery, £23,595. Though if you saved up your pennies for one of these, you'd be by no means disappointed. The raw power from that V4 Gran Turismo motor gives you 168 brake horsepower and 126 newton meters of torque to play with. And of course, alongside that, you've also got the tank size, which is really big at 20 litres. But I'd hazard a guess that if you're riding one of these, you'll be guzzling fuel because you'll be chasing that smooth hit of torque to the fat rear wheel. Moving to the electronics, Ducati has naturally packed plenty here. You've got rider modes, rider tech, so traction control, ABS, a power launch, quick shifter, cruise control, and you've also got the Ducati multimedia system, which goes through the 5-inch TFT display. Now, this sounds absolutely monstrous too, and the full pipe exhaust and single-sided swing arm is a beautiful sight, though I'm not surprised the Italians have arguably won the looks contest here. So over in Hinckley, we have Triumph and their Bobber. Now, new for 2024 is the stunning Stealth Edition tank, and it's got that sort of two-tone gradient tank and the colour on there, beautiful. The overall package on the Bobber is a combination of outright style and pure bliss on the roads. It has no right to be this good, is something I feel like I said on my review ride from last year. Now, priced at £13,995, the Bobber has a 1200cc parallel twin with 76.9 brake horsepower and 106 newton meters of torque. Now, to those of you who go purely based on the numbers, those figures don't tell half the story. The delivery of torque is outstanding, and it's an addictive feeling to ride one of these. It just handles so well in the corners as well, and it just has no right to be that good. It's fairly weighty at 251 kilograms, but it does have an adjustable seat and has a smallish 12-litre tank. The rider tech is limited, but it's an analog bike. It's got traction control, ABS, rider modes, and analog clocks. That's your lot. Now, of course, we had the Triumph Bobber Chrome in for a review last year and we loved it. So check out my review up there if you want more info. Moving on, we have the Royal Enfield Shotgun 650. So, of course, now Indian made, but English still with the heritage. They're inspired by Custom for this Shotgun 650. And for a bike that looks like this at this price point with this motor, you'll certainly be searching for ways to make it your own. Enfield's Cruiser is priced at £6,699 and it comes with a 648cc parallel twin with 46.4 brake horsepower that you'll also recognise from the Interceptor, the Continental GT and the Super Meteor Cruiser, and they're all brilliant bikes. This one also comes with a tripper navigation unit as a little sat-nav unit on there, which is quite handy. Now, we do have the Shotgun 650 currently in for review actually, so subscribe to see the review first when it goes live, but after a good 250 miles ridden, it's a very good cruiser. It's comfortable in the long distances in that single bobber seat. The nav unit does help a huge deal to basically point you in the right direction, and it will happily sit at 70 miles an hour to get you around about 120 miles per tank from the 13.8 litres you get there. It's a solid choice, and it's a great base for customization if you're into that sort of thing, something that Royal Enfield evidently want to see. And then we've got the Triumph Rocket Free Storm R. Arguably saving the biggest and the baddest to last, though perhaps not the conventional cruiser, we have the biggest production motorcycle on the market today, the Triumph Rocket Free Storm R. With an entry price of £23,195, these monsters are absolutely units of the road, delivering 179.5 brake horsepower and a stonking 225 Newton meters of torque from that 2,458cc triple. Damn. These Storm units are new for 2024 too, and you can opt for the slightly more tour-oriented GT if you're all about sinking miles in comfort, and they even have a 10k mile service interval. Suspension and brakes naturally have to be top of the line to handle the 317 kilogram lump. Though I have ridden one of these very, very briefly, a 2021 model I think it was, and I was astonished at just how compliant and smooth the bike was to ride. I'd love to take this for a long tour. Now you do of course naturally have full rider assist here, cruise control, a digital display, and all in, these are incredible machines on the road. I've yet to really hear a proper bad word said about them. So that's the top 10, but what about the best 3 from me? Now first up, and no prizes for guessing if you're a fan of this channel, but the Triumph Bobber. It has the pure Triumph style that we all know and love. It sounds beautiful and the torque from the motor is outrageously addicting to crack on with. Handling is superb too, you've got plenty of peg scraping opportunities, though I just wish you got more than around 100 miles per tank. Second choice is the Royal Enfield Shotgun 650. It's a cracking price for this, and the potential is out there for some epic custom builds. Plus the motor is tried and tested with some impressive pulling power, and I found this stable, stylish and fairly cheap as well, so it's a great pick for number 2. And for pick number 3, I'm going to go for the Ducati Diavel V4. Now it's more of a modern take on cruisers, it's outrageously powerful and it's spec'd up by all accounts. Though it is super expensive, who wouldn't want to open their garage to this? So, no Harley-Davidson in my top 3 for this time around, but I have been talking to Harley-Davidson about borrowing a Low Rider S just to see what all the fuss is about. So subscribe to that and we'll see if we can get one in this year. Also have a watch of my Triumph Bobber review from last year and see what I thought of that, because I love that bike, honestly, so good. And let us know what you want to see from the cruiser lineup for 2025. Is there anything that you're hoping for? And let me know what that R12 Bobber is like as well, because I'm quite curious about that. From the silhouette, it looks very nice. In any case, I'll see you in the next one, and ciao.